Today's video is going to be a kind of intro to Divi, which is a WordPress theme, how to do some basic upkeep and editing certain sections such as this seasonal monthly special section we have right here. Let's go. Okay, so first things first, we're on the website. Typically, if it's a WordPress site, you're going to go to /wp-admin. So that's what we're going to do here. If you're concerned about that wp-admin, there is a way to change that. So that is not how you actually log in. So it's all good. So we have this message right here. I'm just going to X out of that, clean up the dashboard. I like how these are all closed so they're not just kind of overwhelming you the second you log in. So the first thing that kind of is sticking out at you is we have these, little update notices. So you have it here and here. So typically all that updates, all that can really update is WordPress itself, plugins, and your theme. So it looks like we just have plugin updates since these numbers are matching. You can click here to do updates. If you don't see the update icon here, it's always under home right here. So we'll click right here and we'll come to the update screen, and this is a very simple process. So if Divi does need to update, so apparently Divi does need to update, I always update Divi first and then the plugins, and if WordPress needed to update also, it would be up here. One word of caution is don't just always update WordPress. When you update WordPress, there is a chance stuff will break. When you update anything, there's a chance stuff will break, but the chances of it happening are really, really slim to none. And for example, if we host your site, we're making backups of your site 3 times a week. So we can always just roll right back if something does get jacked up during an update. So we'll start with Divi. It's as simple as checking them all off and clicking update. The updates do go very, very quick. I'd imagine if you have a slower internet connection, then it's going to take a little longer. So I saw my little circly icon is done spinning. This one's done. If it was not done, it's going to pop up a white screen that says under maintenance being performed, something like that. No need to freak out. That just means the update was actually not done. So for that very brief period, you cannot actually access the website, and you simply need to refresh in 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. I'd recommend just wait a minute or two and then hit refresh and you'll be all good. So now we're going to do our plugins. This plugin right here is actually no longer supported. So this one right here is never going to update. This plugin is a very simple, basically they're throwing in some HTML and some CSS, whatever is making this plugin work. It simply doesn't need to be updated. So it works fine. There's no security risk, no nothing. You do want to try to update your plugins and WordPress, somewhat often, maybe once a month at max, in my opinion, because a lot of these updates are like security breach type updates. So let's just click update and let all these do their thing, and then we can get to the actual tutorial that we're getting to. Okay, that was a coffee break. Okay, so it appears it's done. I'm going to give it 1 second here. Okay, we appear to be updated. So what I do is I always open it in new tabs because I want to be able to come back to here to access any of these menu items over here if need be. If you do have a Divi WordPress site, I recommend hopping in here and just kind of double checking everything. If you don't change anything or edit anything, click save. Nothing's going to happen by looking what's in here, and there could be something that is slightly off or whatever, so you may want to adjust something. So that's just totally up to you, and there's all kinds of tutorials on the internet if you need to figure out what you need to do. Is it okay to do? Am I doing it right? All that kind of stuff. So we're logged into WordPress obviously, but we don't see our editor right now. All we need to do is click update or refresh. I'm sorry. So now we actually have our editor controls up here. Since we are using Divi, this is a visual builder. So we need to enable our visual builder. And this is a perfect example of why I wanted to do that, like show you, like have this tab open over here. So we have our monthly special section right here. So there we go. So when you hover over all the stuff, you'll kind of see, and this is, you know, a little bit, we got some spacing stuff going on here. So this is a little bit of a complex section at the end of the day. But if we go to the blues are, I believe, the sections. I get them kind of confused. Blues are sections, that teal green is our rows, and then your gray is module. So it's essentially a system of making your, crap, I forgot what they're called already. Whatever the big one in, they're the containers essentially, and then you put your rows in them and stuff like that. So we can see it likes to be really finicky and like go off the screen, but if we stay right on that blue line on the side, we can see this is our container right here. So I want to say I saved this already as like the December special, I believe. So if I click right here on the plus, so now I can enter a new section. That's what they're called, sections, I'm sorry. So you have regular, specialty, and full width. I really just recommend when you're getting started sticking with regular. Full width is just obsolete in my opinion. You can make any regular section full width, and then specialty sections are slightly more complex, and you just gotta kind of really understand how everything's going to stack on top of each other when you go to like a mobile view and stuff like that. So if you're getting started with Divi, I recommend just go with regular. But what I wanted to show you is add from the library. So if we go to add from library, let's see, Gwinnett specials. So I believe this is the December special. Let's take a look. I'm just going to add this in, and there we go. So here's his December special, right? So potentially, you know, this client right here, his name's Russell. Potentially Russell is going to want to you know, reuse this next December. Wouldn't that be nice? Like build out your monthly specials once and then just swap them out with a couple clicks of a button next time December rolls around, and I'll show you how quick and easy it is to edit the text and all this kind of stuff. The real complex aspect of building a website, in my opinion, is, I mean, minus getting all of your technical SEO stuff right, is the spacing, making sure it looks good on all the various screen sizes, because there just seems to be like an endless combination of screen sizes. Another coffee break. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is hop back in here and show you what's going on with the library. So a lot of these, when you hover over them, you get more options, okay? So don't let it overwhelm you. You don't need to know most of them, but I do highly encourage you to just kind of jump through them all and, you know, see what's in there, see what the deal is. We're going to go to the Divi library, because remember we said load from library, right? If I can get it to work. See, sometimes with the spacing here, I can't click on this one. Like when I go to click on that blue plus sign, it disappears. So if I need to get to that, I can always go to like this view right here, and then it's a little harder to tell what's going on because we're looking at these blocks. Yeah, so there's the before and after image slider, and there's the before and after image slider. Okay, yeah, so I just failed to realize we had two text modules inside a row on top. So here's the first container where Russell has already updated it to say January and swapped out his slider, and then here is the original December. So I'm gonna get out of that. We don't really need to be in there right now. So we're here, and what I'm gonna do is come into, I'm already in the library. If we remember, that was called like Gwinnett specials. What I'm gonna do is actually trash this, because we need to note out specials by month. Okay, like that's how he's going to be able to just quickly reinstate that December special next December if he chooses to do so. So let's trash this. So it's gone. It's actually in the trash right here. So let's get it out of here completely, and then let's come back over here and make sure we're on December special, and I'm going to come and to save something to the library, I want to save this whole section. So you can save just this row. You can save just this module to the library. So anything that shows up multiple times on your site, you can save it to your library. And then there's one other thing to know about saving to your library, and we should see that right here. So I am going to say, okay, well, it's not doing it because I've already saved this to the library. So since I deleted it out of the library, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete it because I don't really want this going on the website. So we're just back to how we logged in. I'm going to click save. I'm going to refresh, and then that's, oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, well, we'll have to redo the December. We'll have to redo the December one because I just deleted it out of the library like an idiot. Okay, you shouldn't pay attention to me. I'm just kidding. It's early, and I'm slammed at the moment. But not that big of a deal. I'm happy to redo that for you, Russell, if you want me to. But we'll do this one right here. So we're going to save this one to the library. No, we're not. Never mind. When we get this looking how you want to look at how to look, then I'll go over how to save to the library, all that kind of stuff, because obviously it's a little more confusing than I just initially thought. Yeah, it was pretty stupid what I just did. But can we actually go back? Yeah, we can. So we have the the time icon. We'll let you roll back. So let's roll back. Thanks, Divi. You just make everything so great. Okay, so I can't show you how you can save globally, but we just got our thing we deleted, permanently from the library and everything. If I would have hit refresh, it would have been gone forever, but it's not because Divi likes to save your butt. So here we go. I'm gonna click save, and we don't actually want to save this as global. What I was going to show you is you can save something as global if it's going to show up on multiple pages, say a contact form. And if you ever change your email, for example, and you didn't want to go contact form to contact form to contact form and change the email in each form, or you wanted to add a field to each form, your forms are global, Russell. So if you change one form, it's going to globally change every form on your site. So that's just something to know. So let's just call this December special. Let's call it special 12 December. This way, in the library, when they're in alphabetical order, it's going to be, all your specials will be together. They're going to be in the order of the month because we put 12. So you'll save January as 1, and then December, just to let you know what month it is, whatever. So we can create a category. Let's call it specials. So they'll even be farther separated out into the specials category, and then they'll be in order. So save. So there we go. So we have his original December special saved right here. And let's get out of here. But we renamed it. So it was named whatever it was called before I deleted it out of the library, monthly special, I believe. And now it is noted in the library as the December special. So delete out there, save. We'll let our little spinny thing spin over here. Sometimes this takes longer than other times. Come back to all of everything that's in our library, reset, and it's already in there. So there we go. So our original special is gone, and we have our December special saved. So potentially now you want to edit this one. So I'm going to leave this as is in case you are actually happy with this. I'd imagine that you wanted to, change maybe this text in here because it says fall services right here. So it is literally as simple as I clicked in here, and you can just start editing. You have some basic editor options right here. And then anytime you have this stuck open, or whatever, you can just click up in your menu, get to just a blank space in your menu up here, click off, that'll disappear. So say you wanted to change this and have more control over your editing options, just click the gear icon. So all these sections have gear icons, and that is where everything you can possibly do, that's where you access those settings. So move is if you wanted to move this up and down the page, just grab it, click and hold, and move it, right? So we can just move it wherever. We really don't want to, so I'm gonna put it right back where it was. If you hit this one right here is duplicate. So if you wanted 2 of these, duplicate. Now you got 2 of them, right? And you notice this jump down. This is because I have a CSS code snippet in our, getting a little bit off track, but I'm trying to just help you understand what's going on here. So this site is actually using very, very little custom CSS. I kind of prefer that if possible. I mean, the less code the less code the better. Everything's gonna run faster and stuff like this, but this is my CSS that I snapped in to make this happen, where this row right here is going to center whatever the content in the 2 columns are. So that's why this jumped down when I added this, right? So if we delete that back, it jumps back. Just a real quick lesson on this. This is the class that I gave this CSS command, whatever you want to call this code snippet right here. I identified this by center justified content. So in this section where we're entering, this is our CSS style sheet essentially, custom CSS right here. We need this period here, but we don't need it when we enter it into a Divi module. And since I want the contents of this centered, I put that in the advanced tab right here. So no period, exactly the same. Every character has to be the same. You just want to use lowercase. You can use dashes. You can use underscores. But obviously don't use periods. They have a purpose. IDs are very similar, but I'm not going to get into that right here. Okay. So say we wanted to change this text. We click on that gear icon, and now we have much more control over what we do. So you have your little grabber down here. You can make this as big as you want and stuff like this. You have this option right here where you can snap it to the side. I personally do not like snapping it to the side, as it's going to distort the size of your screen, and then potentially stuff's going to get jacked up, right? So what I like to do is, and to get it off the side, you just click and hold and drag wherever you want it. So get it out of your way and make it as big as you want it, and then you go, right? So if you start hopping in these different modules and stuff, you'll notice they always have this content, design, advanced. These are the 3 options you have at the top. And since this is a text module, we're seeing our text settings. That's a text module right there. That's pretty obvious. This is a button. This is a plugin, which is an image slider. So let me actually hop out of this and say, if I wanted to add a new module, I'd click the plus sign under whatever module I want, and here's all the different modules you get within Divi. This is one of the reasons I really like Divi. It just makes it so quick and easy to throw whatever you want in. So say we wanted to throw an image in, add an image, boom. Okay, so Divi does this. I really like this. It's just a placeholder, so you can kind of see, hey, this is the size of an image right here. Obviously it's going to display whatever image size you upload, so that is something we're going to get to in this video. I'm going to come over here and remind myself by opening Canva. So when you're uploading stuff to your website, you don't want to make it bigger than it'll ever display. So like I said, we're in an image module, obviously different than a text module. We still have content, design, advanced. Advanced typically stays very similar. Your design is going to change depending on what it is, but you're going to have usually all of these settings right here for sure, and possibly a couple more. And your content is going to, especially the content section, like the other one had the little text editor. Since that was a text module, this is an image module. It has this image module. And then link is like what it sounds like, a link. Like you can make it a clickable link, stuff like that. Open in the same window means if they click on that link, it's going to replace the content. It's going to open up that new website or web page in the same tab. So if you ever send anybody off your website, which is not a bad idea sometimes, make sure it opens in a new tab by clicking and select open in a new tab. I wouldn't recommend messing around with backgrounds, images and stuff. I guess if you want to change the color, that's easy enough, but background images get a little confusing. You can even do background videos, really easy. But like, definitely watch some videos and stuff on this if you get into this. And you can always click this question mark right here. Where's the, I don't use it, help, there we go. So if you click help, it's going to bring up a video tutorial for an image module made by Divi. So literally anything you're getting stuck on, just find that help inside your module, or potentially are they in rows and stuff too. I mean, I don't use it. I've already, gotten past that point. So yeah, so they're just in modules. They'll tell you how to use the modules. The rows and everything are, pretty self-explanatory. If we just show you this, boom, I put in a regular section. These are going to be your content areas where you can insert your modules. So you're going to have 3 across, right? So when you go to mobile, this is going to be on the top, this is going to be in the middle, this is going to be on the bottom. Most of the time, unless you do a CSS code snippet or you're using a plugin to swap them around or whatever, but you can just kind of assume they're going to stack on top of each other as the screen size gets smaller. But let's get out of here. So this is an example of, we have this dark theme on the background here. So if you did want to add a new section and you end up with this white background, you're probably going to want to change that, obviously, right? If you have Photoshop, you can grab your color code or whatever, but obviously this background has the color we want, or we would want if we were actually doing this. So I'd copy that color code out of here. So I just went to the background on that section. You can kind of assume the background's on the section because it's going from side to side, right? But like right here, this row is going from side to side because I made it full width, even though this isn't a full width module. That's why I said they're kind of obsolete. But potentially, the background would have been in here. But I don't have a background color in here because that would just be another line of code that wouldn't make sense because we already have the background behind it, the color we want. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to change this background to that color, it'd be as simple as click on there. We're on color. This is a gradient. If you want to play around with the gradients, they can get kind of cool. But paste the color in, and now we're the same color. So that's all that's going on there. Okay, so I would imagine, maybe you don't want to do these before and after sliders every single time that you make one of these monthly specials. Say you wanted to make that make that an image. So what you do is just click the one below that. So we're going to add a module below that, and if you remember, you can just grab anything and move it to anywhere else. So it really doesn't matter where you enter it on the page, and none of this stuff is happening live. Like until we click save and we've actually made edits, nothing's happening on the live version of your site. If someone's on the live version of your site, they're looking at it how it was previously. So it's not like your site's down when this is happening or anything. So say you just wanted to add an image, boom, add an image, right? So then you'd click in here and you'd come to your image library. Divi makes it super simple. So say I have some images right over here, different client, but say I had those images over there and my screen just went away. So come back. Okay, so I'm on my other screen, but if I wanted to add an image, I can literally just drag and drop it into here, or I can go to upload files and then search for the file on my computer. You can upload multiple at once, all that kind of stuff. Basically, this is your media library right here is what that's pulling from. So you could potentially load your images into here. I kind of like this to do one at a time, but it's however you want to do it. So I'm glad we got, we're looking at this right here. So these file names, I would recommend to re-upload these to WordPress and then give them file names like I gave all these image file names. You want it to kind of represent what that image is, because this doesn't mean anything to Google. Google's going to reference what that file name is to try to get some kind of context of what the image is. So definitely, upload your new ones, then delete these out, and that'll be that. So let's click on this one right here and see what This is. Okay, so perfect example. We're uploaded at 2048 pixels by 2048 pixels. We have an image size of 2 MB. This is huge. You know what I'm saying? A HD screen is 1920 pixels wide. So this image is, you know, over HD quality. It's the image size is just too big. We don't want to do it. You have this compress right here. I actually don't use this because I use a plugin to compress all of our images. And you actually have a free plugin right here installed, WP Optimize, which will compress images. So if you want to look into that, I use a paid one, but I probably deleted it off this site because I get charged as images are uploaded. So, you know, as I'm working on your site or whatever, you know, I keep the plugin on there and compress all the images with it. But this is, you know, a very viable way. So here's an example of just how big this image is, right? Jeez, like it's just so big. Okay, let me click back and see if we can get back here. Here we go. Okay, so here is the original image size that was in that first module, our first section we had. Let's get out of here. Okay, so let me add my original one back in December. Okay, so this image right here is HD because it's not, I mean, it's not super, I mean, I promise you this image, it's large. I didn't upload it smaller than it needs to be, and I can show you that too. Since we are logged into Divi to figure out to have Chrome, the inspect tool, developer tool, tell you how big this image is, we need to right click on the bar over here. So I'm gonna right click on this bar over here and inspect, come to my pointer. And if you've never used this before, this whole section down here may be over here. I prefer it down here so I can see the full screen, but make sure I'm clicked on that, it's highlighted and right here. So that's telling me this image is 559 pixels wide by 392 pixels tall. So I am on an HD screen, right? So I know the only way this would possibly need to be a higher resolution is for these crazy Mac monitors and stuff like this. Like, I'm not worried about those. I'm not going to make all my file sizes bigger for like 1% or less of computer users. You know what I mean? So what you want to do, Russell, is, you know, if you want to use these same images, I do like these images and that effect of, you know, we have like before and after pictures in a before and after slider. That's like 3. I don't know. But, you know, just take this image right here, and if you know, for some reason lost it, you can literally just save your image right out of Divi like that, out of the WordPress library. Come into Canva, and crap, I forget what I said that was. 559392. So I'd make my size 559392 in Canva. Bam. And then uploads are, here we go. Well, you just drag it and drop it into Canva too. So there it goes. Boom. Oop, I didn't mean to do that. I dragged and cropped it on accident, so I'll just hit back. And I forgot that this is a square image, so potentially, you know, you'd want to make this a square image, so you could just make it, you know, that big, and then we'd be, you know, 559 by 559. Recenter it, boom. So you would want to do this, you know, resize your image like that, and then upload it to not slow down your site speed, because it's a big deal. Site speed is a big deal. And like I said, give it a more friendly file name when you upload it. And we'll go to a normal size image right here. So there's no alternative text in here, okay? Divi, the way Divi works, this is like one thing that slightly frustrates me about Divi, is it is not pulling from here. So when your website is live, like, they're not pulling the alternative text from here. So on several other WordPress themes, it will, not with Divi. You need to enter it somewhere else, and it's not that big of a deal at the end of the day. But say we just wanted to image one of these images and it not to be a slider, I'd go to my image module, click on my gear icon, go back, so it's saying drag your files. Well, I can toggle over to everything that's in my media library already. So I just wanted this picture there. What I do is I uploaded it with my file name that I wanted, because there's no editing that. It's going to upload right here. It's going to be to your website.com/WP content /after-leaf-clean. Like, that's going to be the file name. Every single image on your website lives on a website URL. Like, that's how it's able to populate. So what I do is I uploaded it with that file friendly name right there, copy it, X out of there. Oh, well, I need to upload my dang image. Upload the image, and then where you need to enter your alt text is in the advanced tab in attributes. So you'd put it here after leaf cleanup, and then to do your alt text properly, what you want to do is describe this photo. So you would say, you know, a lawn going dormant in the fall with shrubs and a home and an SUV in the driveway in the background. Something like that. The purpose of the alt tag is to describe the image to someone who potentially has a visual impairment. So a screen reader would come and say, hey, this is a picture of a lawn with a bunch of shrubs in the bed, a home in the background, and a SUV in the driveway. You want to keep your alt tags as short as possible, but from the best I can tell, like, they want you to get a little specific. So try to keep it as short as possible, but also describe the image. So delete that out of there. The alt tags go in a little different place right here. So, you know, this is what I said before leaf cleaning, after leaf cleaning. I mean, you know, I think it works pretty well for this image. I mean, you know, the alt tags, it's something to, you know, look into more. It seems to be changing and becoming a bigger and bigger deal every day. So a couple more things. We'll try to wrap this video up and not bore the heck out of you. So say you wanted to change the color of this text right here. That's something you can either do if you go to text, you're going to see the HTML right here, and then that color right there is this hex code. So you could potentially grab the hex code of wherever you want it and actually edit the code. The underline is FFFFF, that's white. So underline is called text decoration underline, and we give it our color, and the color of the text is this color right here, which is that orange. Then here's, you know, what displays on the screen. So I'm not going to get into what, you know, how the code works and stuff like that, but you don't need to know the code, but you cannot change the color of it from inside this. If you wanted to change the color without code, you would need to click on it, highlight it, and then go to your little color icon right here. And then you can change it to any of these colors or any of these colors, any color. You can change it to any color. If you want it to be opacity, see-through, or for some reason or whatever, you do that. So, okay, so I didn't think I was going to do that since I clicked X, but it did. But I can go boop, and we're back. So I just went back to, you know, before I changed the color by the time icon right there. So this is the old one. Let me delete out of this one, get to the one we're actually working on. And say you wanted to change this call to action to maybe just wanted to say view all services, or learn about us, contact us, see our reviews. Say you wanted to change this button right here, okay? You click on the icon, so you can kind of tell what's going on right here. Here's your button text, and you can see, oh, that's the same. So that's how you're going to change that. You know, changes in real time for you. If you notice, I'm typing in lowercase, you know, with capital first letters, and it's displaying as uppercase. What? That's crazy. Okay, so we'll get to that in a second. So this is going to free quote, because that is the domain of his quote page, free quote. So when you interlink, when you're doing a site link to another page on your site, just do whatever comes after the .com. But you do need that slash. That slash right there is very important, but you don't need to put www.gwinettlawns.com in this case. That's just going to make your code longer. So don't do that. Just do slash whatever the slug is. Say you had services, a services page and a mowing page. That's going to be slash services slash lawn mowing potentially. That's what I would recommend at least. Well, you're going to do the slash services slash lawn dash mowing because that, that's the everything after the .com. So not just the last part of it, everything that comes after the .com needs to be put in here for your link. That goes for text links, any kind of link. You can make image clickable and make it a link, any kind of link. It goes for all those. And then to kind of just make this as short as possible. I know it got kind of long, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to just make sure you like fully understand your website and you feel like you are able to do, whatever you need to do without relying on me. I want you to have full control. If you ever need me to do anything, I'll do it as cheap as I possibly can. But you want stuff done now. I might not be able to do it right now, but I try to be as readily available as possible. So alignment was run down some stuff like this. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's pretty simple, right? And then you get to this. Whenever you hover over anything, and if you don't see, sometimes you'll hover over this and your mouse will be like this and you don't see these icons, just click one time, left click, and then they'll populate. It's a little Divi glitch. But say we wanted to change this, like maybe on mobile, we wanted this to actually be on the right hand side so it's closer to a right hand person's thumb as they're holding their phone, right? So you'd go to mobile, or go to phone, I'm sorry, phone, mobile, whatever. Okay, so now it's showing you how your website looks in mobile view, right? And now we can change that to, well, on mobile view, we want it to be over here. Okay, so you have full control over everything on every screen size. One thing to note is it kind of trickles down. So if you just set a desktop, it's going to trickle down to all of them. If you set a desktop to center and then you set your tablet to right, then your phone's going to be right, unless you had already set something for your phone, and then it's not going to override what you set. But it's going to trickle down unless you've actually set the smallest screen size. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm just going to leave it as is right there. Or if you're just like, crap, I messed up, I want to revert that back, you can do that. Or if you just scrap everything I just did, I just totally jacked this up, hit the X and nothing will happen. And you still always have your time arrow right here if you accidentally click the green check mark or whatever. I have no idea what these two do. I've never clicked these buttons, so click those at your own risk, I guess. I'm not clicking them. There's no need to click them. I don't understand. So here, text color dark. So this is kind of getting overridden is what's happening by we've set in the button text color to green, as it obviously is. So now we have another option on hover. It turns to black, right? So if we go to black, so it does get a little jacked up when you start going to hover and stuff, but when you're hovered over it, that should be showing you all the settings you have on hover. So that's how the button really does look in real life on hover. We go back to desktop, we see it like that. The background color of the button, the background color of the button. The border width, so how wide is this orange border right here? Border color, it's green, obviously on hover. So to get to the hover options right here, it's that clicker or pointer. So then we go to hover and we see it's, when you are hovering it, it's orange. So that's what's going on there. Border radius could make that a rounded corner if you wanted a rounder corner, like that. Obviously, you'd probably just want to go 10, 15, whatever. It's kind of funny how it's making it weird like that. It usually does like a 45-degree radius, if you will, not make it look like a football shape. I don't know. That's weird. It usually doesn't do that. But button font style, that's why they're all caps, even though, there we go. Come on, man. Exit out of there. The button text is all caps because I clicked that button right there. So for some reason I wanted it all caps, so I clicked that. Show button icon. I'm not a huge fan of the button icons. Every now and then I do use them, but I think they look kind of janky most of the time. If you wanted a text shadow on your text, typically a bad idea. Your spacing. So we have 30 pixels of spacing on the top. This is where you need to really kind of know what you're doing as far as making your website look good on all the devices, but just run through them all, play with them all, and remember it trickles down. So start with desktop, go to tablet, go to phone, and adjust them. And then another caveat there is you have all the different screen sizes. So you're going to want to save it. As soon as you save it, it's going to be live on the internet. Check it on your phone, for example, refresh, so you're making sure you're seeing the livest version, and then you may need to further adjust the spacing. Even though it looks right in the editor, it may not look right in real life. So that is something that's a little frustrating. Also, the box shadow. So this does have a box shadow, that white box shadow. It's on the button, not on the text. That's why we're in button settings on box shadow, and we can see that. So yeah, so that's that. Vertical position. We're moving the box shadow around here. So is that 7, I believe, -7. Blur strength. So all this stuff, just play around with it. It's going to make your blur stronger, weaker, stuff like this. Outer, inner. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's self-explanatory stuff at the end of the day. I wouldn't really recommend getting into filters too much. Transform, I really wouldn't recommend getting a transform much at all until you really know what you're doing. Animation, just take it easy on the animations if you start using them, because they can really become overwhelming and make your site look kind of cheesy. But I think some of them are nice. I believe this site actually does have some animations. If we go to an incognito window real quick, I'll show you an animation, for example. So that's a preloader, but I believe when we come down, so that was the animation right there. And then these smaller squares that are going to populate in a second, they have an animation too. Right here, animation. So that's how that is happening. This is a GIF. That's not an animation. Sure. Yeah, so I hope that answered your question. Got you an idea on how you can fully customize, this section. So what I would recommend is, when you do have the time to get this January section looking how you like it, if you need me to hop on and tweak, finalize anything, please let me know. Then, I would recommend to come up to your little down arrow and save that as your monthly special, like we did at the beginning. And then, next January, you're like, let's get our January monthly special up in about 3 clicks, So that's another reason why I just really love Divi. But video got way longer than I was planning on making it, so I'm very sorry. Hopefully you found value in it. I really appreciate you watching. If you do happen to watch the video, I think I'm just going to post this one live, even though it was specifically for Russell. Hopefully it can help a lot of beginner people using Divi, just getting familiar with it, learn how to use it from someone like me that uses it all the freaking time. So January, so this one looks like it's the legit one. This one has all this crap in it, so I'm gonna delete this one right here. Delete. And what happened here? So our buttons are all jacked up here. So did I jack something up? Oh my gosh, before we wrap up the video, I gotta make sure I didn't jack something up. I'm thinking this has to be a Divi glitch. I don't remember doing anything to mess anything up. And it appears everything is fine. So let's refresh to make sure we are seeing the latest version. And I don't know if I've saved yet, Really weird. I don't know what's going on here. So if this is jacked up, I'll show you kind of how to fix that real quick and easy, actually, because it looks like potentially all the buttons have gone to black text which is obviously not good since they got a black background. So to further make sure I am seeing the latest version, I'm gonna go ahead and open up this in Firefox. I'm gonna refresh again. And yeah, so apparently that was just a little Divi glitch. We were like we should be. So yeah, so Divi's definitely not perfect. So you know, hopefully that didn't just throw you for a complete loop, because it kind of threw me for a loop for a second there. Okay, so I have saved, we're saved. I'm just gonna exit out, we're done. If you try to accidentally exit out, it's gonna let you know, hey, you made some changes and didn't save it. So that's kind of a nice feature. Like I said, when you get your new correctly sized images, and feel free, if you want them to be squares, make them a square. You know, I wouldn't go over like that 559 spacing, because it's, you know, obviously the right width for that section that it's in. If you want to further customize from there, you know, maybe get with me and let me walk you through how to do whatever additional, you know, edit you're trying to make or whatever. So that's it. Until the next video, keep making money. Have a great day. See ya.